We've identified 6 factors that are important when evaluating possible sites for a Geological Disposal Facility, or GDF. One of these 6 siting factors is engineering feasibility. The engineering feasibility and safety and security siting factors work together, enabling us to evaluate whether a GDF could be designed, constructed, operated, and eventually closed safely. Each of the 6 siting factors is broken down into a number of considerations. Within the engineering feasibility siting factor, there are 7 considerations. The ability to characterize, the ability to design and construct, sustainable design, flexibility, waste conditioning and packaging, inventory for disposal, and retrievability. The ability to characterize consideration looks at whether we can investigate the site to develop the understanding required to design a GDF. The ability to design and construct consideration looks at how practical it is to design, build, operate and close a GDF within the constraints of the specific site. For example, what engineered barriers could we use alongside the local geology to isolate and contain radioactive waste? Is there enough land in the area of focus to house the above-ground parts of a GDF? What construction techniques could we use? What sort of flood protection measures might we need? And can we get enough power to the site? The sustainable design consideration looks at our ability to design, construct and operate a GDF in a sustainable manner. For example, how could we manage and potentially reuse material excavated during construction? What types of materials may we need to use when constructing the facility? The flexibility consideration looks at whether a range of GDF design and layout options could potentially work at the site. The waste conditioning and packaging consideration looks at whether a GDF delivered at the potential location can be designed to accommodate existing and planned types of radioactive waste packages. And the inventory for disposal consideration looks at whether there is a suitable volume of host rock at a suitable depth available to safely dispose of the agreed waste inventory. Finally, the retrievability consideration looks at the ability to design, construct and operate a GDF so that, if there was a compelling reason to do so, waste could be retrieved during the operational phase. When evaluating possible sites, we look at the surface or above-ground parts of a GDF, the subsurface or underground areas, and the access ways that connect the surface and subsurface. By examining all 3 of these elements, we can consider the long-term engineering feasibility of a GDF at a specific site and assess whether they could be suitable. The 6 siting factors set out the broad topics that need to be considered throughout the GDF siting process. That is, to seek to ensure that the social and economic impact of a GDF will benefit the community. It represents value for money and aims to assess the impact on the environment. It must also be feasible to both design, construct and operate the facility, and to transport the waste and construction materials to the facility, all of which must be done safely and securely. If we can't satisfy ourselves and the independent regulators that a GDF at that location will be safe, the project will not go ahead. We're constantly working to improve our understanding, so we make well-informed decisions.